All right. I don't know what's happening, but apparently there's an epidemic. There is an epidemic of groomers going on lately. Like everybody's just coming out being like I don't know what's going on with the influencers nowadays, but like every dude is coming out being like, yeah, so I secretly have this kink of talking to 12-year-olds. Like I don't know what's going on with these people. Holy fuck, bro. So another Genshin voice actor has come out. We got a Mujin video here coming out. Apparently another Genshin creator or Genshin voice actor just loves little girls apparently, and but based on the thumbnail, apparently it's D-Luke. That's apparently who it is, the voice actor of D-Luke, which I wonder how that's. Wonder what's gonna happen if they're probably gonna retroactively get rid of all his lines. But I need the story. I need to know what the fuck is going on. Like what is going on right here,
guys? Can we just
not sound like that guy, but he looks like he talks to 12-year-olds. Anyways,
please stop messaging minors. Is it really that hard, dude?
Apparently.
Come on, man. Like, please, can we talk about other things that aren't as criminal? So
Holy
around
fuck.
a year ago, back in July of 20.
Okay, this is gonna be so bad. This is gonna sound so bad. And I know this is gonna sound so bad, but I kind of like the old voice. I kind of like this guy's old voice for Tainari a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of did. It kind of just fit Tainari. Like for me, the old voice kind of fit Tainari a little bit better. Don't be wrong. He's still a piece of shit. Deserves everything he got. And the new VA is doing a great job. It's just, bro. The first time you just hear that, the first time you heard that line, what are they gonna do? Lock me up, bro? That shit got me. It just sucks. I just, oh my god.
2023, Elliot Gindi, as seen on the left, voiced a character in Genshin Impact by the name of Tanari. This was like one of his first major roles, and he already had a community of passionate fans in his Discord server. But one day, out of nowhere, his mods compiled an entire document pretty much listing every occurrence in which...
I actually don't know the full story behind that. I don't know how he got found out. I just remember seeing the article pop up everywhere, seeing news of that, everyone just be like, and then I remember I saw like a clip of Zach Aguilar being like, yeah, I'm never talking to this dude again, and then like he just got wiped off the face of the earth, and then all his voice lines got changed. So I don't remember I don't know the full story behind it. I just know that, you know, it was confirmed that he's a predator
due to his status in their favorite game. He would force them into inappropriate conversations and would pressure them to carry on, because when they would want to leave, he would say, well, if you stop talking to me, I'm just gonna kill myself. Like, he was a terrible person, completely taking advantage of people who are vulnerable.
To have so little self-worth and self-respect to be like, if you stop talking to me, I'm gonna kill myself. Like, bro, I've dealt with people like that, and holy shit, bro. There literally comes a point where like I've dealt with people like that, and there literally comes a point like you reach a certain boiling point where you literally just want to say, all right, fucking do it. I don't care anymore. At this point, when they send that text to you, you're like, okay, do it. And then you just want it so that you can just stop talking to them. And it's like, bro, those are like the worst kinds of people you want in your life.
Minors. As soon as that document went public, all the voice actors in the industry called out his behavior and ostracized him, completely expelling him from the community, with Hoyoverse, Genshin Impact's developer, immediately firing him, right? Calling him out, firing him, and looking for a replacement, and re-recorded all his lines. Now, as I mentioned, this was probably his first ever major role in something. This led to...
Yeah, and now last. What the fuck? How do you fuck up that bad?
Some people criticizing Hoyoverse or the studio they hired of not doing enough of a thorough background check to...
Okay, here's a hot take. I don't think it's Hoyoverse's fault. I know. You come to the defense of the big bad corporation. I know. But at the end of the day, if you know, they probably did do a background check, but like if at the time he wasn't doing anything wrong, then and then all of a sudden he just started doing it, that's not Hoyoverse's fault. They can't proceed into the future. They can't just know that this guy is going to be talking to minors in the future. So I guess that's not Hoyoverse's fault. I don't blame Hoyoverse for that. I think it's just unfortunate circumstances that they hired some dude that, you know, likes babies.
really understand who they were hiring. Genshin's English voice actors are very talented, but unfortunately something like this had left a dark stain on the community as a whole. And everyone was just hoping that it wouldn't happen again.
Welp.
Well, here we are today, right?
Welp.
On July 1st, 2024, a Twitter user by the name of Rena made this post with almost 4 million views, pretty much directly accusing Sean Chiplock, the voice actor for Diluc in Genshin Impact, but also the voice actor of Rivali from the...
He's Rivali as well? He's Rivali? Damn, that's some range. I didn't even notice that.
Legend of Zelda of being a groomer. The victim in question being a 15-year-old. And this whole thing is such a mess, dude. In fact, this isn't even the first time this has been brought up. This incident can be traced back to the end of 2013, where the person who claims to be the victim had made a DeviantArt post talking about it. They then proceeded to leave the internet.
I will say this though. One thing I really don't like that a lot of people are now doing is we're getting some hot takes here. One thing I really don't like that people now do, that people are doing nowadays, is when dealing with shit like this that is like legitimate crimes, they would rather go to Twitter than the police. And here's the thing, because, and I'm not saying it's like it's malicious intent for all cases. I'm not saying it's malicious intent for all cases, but there are plenty of cases where people will just go to Twitter instead of like actual authorities, because on Twitter the burden of proof is on the accusee, and in the court of law, right? So the court of opinion, which is Twitter, the burden of proof is on the accusee, whereas in the court of law, the burden of proof is on the accuser, right? In the court of law, you're innocent until proven guilty. So if you're going to accuse someone of something, you have to prove that that person is guilty of what you did. Whereas on Twitter, the court of public opinion, you're guilty until proven innocent, meaning someone could just make a video of them crying and be like, yeah, I didn't consent to this person giving me a high five, so I was raped. And then like now you have to prove that you're not a fucking an essayer, right? All of a sudden, and this is like, and because the burden of proof is not on the person, is not on the accuser, like it's like a trend that people would rather go to Twitter than actual authorities. And I'm not saying all of them are with malicious intent, but it's like it's an actual problem. Like, bro, like this is legit crimes being, like, laws being broken, crimes being committed. Don't go to go to the actual authorities, get him arrested, lock him up. Like, what the hell?
And ever since then, there's been other people like Rena who have been bringing it up over and over, either on Tumblr, on Reddit, and now on Twitter. The main difference this time, though, is that not only have we reached 4 million views on the post, but the victim themselves, the person who had written that post on DeviantArt in 2013, is now back on Twitter to talk about it. I didn't even intend to make a video about this, but seeing that it has so many views and has left so many people confused, I thought I'd make this video being neutral, presenting all the information to you and its backstory, so that way you can come up with your own conclusions and we can move on from this. So yeah, let's get right into this mess.
Yes, please tell me the story.
Chiplock
Give me the
is
deets.
a seasoned voice actor.
Give me the deets.
He has dubbed some pretty high-profile anime, been in series, been in video games.
He was in Persona 5. Wait, hold on. Wait. My mind was which character was he in Persona 5? Yuki. He was Mishima? Bro, this guy's in all my favorite games. God damn it, bro.
Video games, he's done a lot of things. People know him for a variety of different things, but he's most known for his dub of Diluc in Genshin Impact and Rivali in The Legend of Zelda. Additionally, he also voiced Teba, Sage of Wind, and the Great Deku Tree in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So, on July 1st, this tweet was made by Rena, aka Araval, in which they say, "When I was 13, Sean Chiplock," adding his professional account, aka VA Sonic Mega, which is the account he uses the most. I don't know, maybe it's his persona, I'm not too sure.
Jesus, why are they all furries?
To groom a 15-year-old trans boy. That person was my friend, but he left the internet, so the only person left to tell the story is me. Serena here is speaking on behalf of the victim.
Huh. I don't like that for a myriad of reasons, but I'm hoping there's actual proof. I'm gonna hold my tongue. Maybe I'm hoping they give actual proof, right? There says 10 years of context, so I'm assuming there's actual like literal evidence of him doing this. But the problem is that's the reason why I have a problem with that is I'm hoping that they got permission to do this, because if they didn't, I'm sorry, you're a shit friend. That you just outed your friend's trauma to the entire internet for what? Well, for clout, because this is a Genshin Impact voice actor, right? So it's like it's the victim story to tell. So I feel like that's if they got permission, then that's fine. I'm sure they have evidence. I doubt they wouldn't do this without evidence. This is like there's probably evidence. There's definitely evidence. That's why I'm gonna hold my tongue. But the point I'm trying to make is I personally don't like the fact that he outed his friend basically.
Was 15 at the time and they were 13, right? And as I mentioned, this isn't the first time this has been brought up. 2013 was the first time this was ever brought up by the victim themselves. And
within 30 seconds, I got completely proven wrong. Okay, so the victim themselves said it. All right, never mind. Then it's all fine and dandy. My bad.
Tweet just reuses many of the explanations and screenshots provided here. In 2018, a Reddit post was made in r/anime dubs about the situation, and in 2019, a Tumblr post was made providing a bit more information.
So
as well.
This has been brought up a lot of times.
This much traction, though.
Yeah, why was it never
4 million views here?
Yeah, so if this was brought up so many times, how has this never caught anyone's attention? I feel like this would be front page, and actually no, because it was Genshin. That's why. All those times were before he did anything for Genshin. So now that it's Genshin, bro, it fucking blew up. Seeing a Genshin voice actor was responsible for this shit, that's what got the headlines.
Of people who saw this in their feed. Rena continues, saying Casper was a 15-year-old on Fur Affinity, which is, well, do I really want to open this on my browser?
Bro,
I didn't think.
Bro, why are they all furries?
Like
I swear to God.
But here we are, Fur Affinity, everybody. I guess it's like a furry image board, a forum. Let's just say a furry community. And let me just delete this.
Why is everybody who plays gacha games fucking furries?
Casper and Sean Chiplock got in contact.
Holy fuck!
They messaged each other in the Fur Affinity.
See, Hoiverse knows what they're doing. They know exactly what demographics to target. They went straight for the furry community with Zenless Zone Zero.
Perspective, right? This is their accusations. So here are the screenshots that were.
They were like, we know you want to fuck Sonic the Hedgehog, so we made the game.
Art post made in 2013. So Sonic Mega, which is here allegedly Sean Chiplock, starts off the conversation on August 28th, 2013 at 2 a.m. saying, "Is this the part where I awkward type in a RP paragraph and then send nudes while asking for free art, or am I doing this furry thing wrong?" Signing off the end of the sentence with his furry name, I think, which is Pommy. Remember, this post on DeviantArt was made by the victim themselves, who goes by Casper. This is what they had to say about Sonic Mega's first message. That made me vaguely uncomfortable, but realizing that it was probably just a joke regarding some particular branches of the furry fandom, I brushed it off and began conversing with him normally regardless. I tried to be an open-minded and friendly person, so despite my initial reservations, I decided to just give the guy a shot and get to know him. However, as the discussion continued, he began to behave more and more unusually. An excerpt from our conversation can be seen below. So here,
if this is someone's first message to me, instant ghost. I don't care who it is. If someone's first message to me is, "Oh, is this where I send my erotic RP fandom and then send you my dick pics?" Instant ghost, if not block. I don't care who it is. Rihanna could send this to me. I'd be like, go get help, and instant ghost.
Seen below. So here we can see Sonic Mega say this. "Yeah, I'm pretty shameless, so sometimes when people in Skype chats get too rowdy or RP horny, especially if they're gay, which I'm not, I like to record snippets just for them to rile them up, either as the deep voice Dom or the
I don't know. I just found that funny. Maybe it was the way he read that. It's just like, yo, if they get really horny, especially if they're gay, which, by the way, I'm not, no homo. I don't know why. I just thought that was kind of funny.
Extremely pleasured sub. Casper says, "Oh my god, what? I'm choking." And then Sonic Mega just proceeds to send an MP3 file by the name of Consolation Hole, saying, Enjoy. And then continues. This was after I started teasing one of them half-assedly and the other was getting mad that I was being detailed with only that
What
person.
the
Casper then
fuck?
says, am I going to laugh or cry? It's like a game of Russian roulette. To which Sonic Mega says, and then you realize that the same exact person who did that also did this, sending another MP3 file, this time titled formax.mp3.
I'm
Now,
horrified
according
at what
to
those files
Casper
could be.
and
What the
to Rena, who made this post, these MP3 files were pretty much Sean moaning and fake orgasming, and they were just sent to someone who was 15. And then the last
the
screenshots
fuck?
in this DeviantArt post are of Sonic Mega, except you can't see his name here. Here's what he had to say. Well, this is probably more just ignorance and stupidity, but as a male trapped in a female's body, are your fantasies still inherently female, or do you end up having ones more typically expected of males? For instance, if you do masturbate, do you tend to have thoughts regarding being filled/taken, etc., or do you still like to fantasize about doing the filling? I'm just simply fascinated by the complexity and capability of the mind, so opportunities like this pique my interest. Casper then said,
Bro, why is he going so in detail? What the fuck? Look. I understand, like, you know, sexting and, you know, talking dirty and get that. Time and place, I get that. But, like, bro, this is someone he just met. And it's like going into this dude sending like fucking audio clips of him sending his money shot. Like, what is going? Like, bro, are you that lonely? Are you that fucking lonely, my guy?
her profile on Bulba Garden. I have no accuser. Regardless, he then says that he would never send unsolicited lewd material to anyone, audio or otherwise, without getting a prior okay first, because his career is too precious to him and he would never want to risk it over something that stupid. He then
Here's my problem. Why send anything like that to anyone in the first place over the internet? Like, I'm talking like I'm talking like this is something that like he says like this will affect his career. Why do that over the internet, bro? Like, that's some shit you only do with somebody you've already met face to face. Like, you don't do that shit. You don't send voice clips like that to people you don't know on the internet. Like, come on, bro.
talks more about Melanie Herring, the person he's saying was in the DMs with him, saying that she's infamous for doing a complete 180 on people who are no longer on her good side. According to him, they worked on a few projects together, but then he saw how she was treating the people who were trying to help her on Twitter very badly, so he called her out. And in his own words says he made an inappropriate comment regarding her relationship troubles, to which he has acknowledged and apologized for. And then he says, the reality is that while we were working together, there were plenty of friendly conversations we had with each other, including many voice requests she asked me to do for humor's sake. But as soon as I was no longer in her good graces, I simply became the next target of her vitriol. She already previously once sent her fanbase out to call every studio I'd worked for to try and get me fired. Thankfully, nothing permanent came of it. Although I no longer involve myself with her business, it's my understanding that she continues to do.
Here's my first red flag. This is my first red flag. The fact that she went for his money instead of justice, right? Here's the thing. I'm very much like something you'll probably notice from like one of my responses and all this is I'm very much like, if someone's committing a crime, you go to the authorities. You don't start Twitter beef. You don't go to the internet. You go to the fucking authorities. Like, this is legitimate crimes being committed, or accusations of crimes being committed, right? We've yet to see actual evidence, but there's accusations of people of like crimes being committed. So like, I really don't like that people like look. I just don't like that people go to Twitter. Like, go to the authorities, bro. That's just how it is, man.
Do this to many others who cross paths with her even today. The entire reason why she's under so much fire right now is because people finally got fed up with her behavior, and the stories/anecdotes from those she harassed came crashing down on her all at once. Bear in mind that the things he's talking about here happened in 2018 when he posted this reply. He ends his statement by saying that Melanie and her partner are currently under investigation for conversations and past actions involving bestiality and actually grooming minors.
Oh my god, it just gets worse. It just gets fucking worse. Oh my god. It just keeps getting fucking worse. So at first it was babies, and now it's cats and dogs. Oh my god. Now this guy likes sticking his dick in octopuses. Oh my god. This guy now he likes to get his dick wet by sticking it in squirrels. Oh my god, bro. This is what this is what this is why I don't want to be a this is why I don't want to be a furry, bro. Cuz like you have to have some next level like blue balls to be looking at Sonic the Hedgehog and thinking, "Damn, I want to fuck that." Like, bro.
For sex. Yeah, you heard that right. Yeah, bestiality. Among other things. And a Kiwi Farms link to support what he's saying. Look, this is an entirely different rabbit hole that I have no interest in going under. A quick Google search, though, indicates that Melanie is indeed a very troubled individual. So here's how that relates to this current situation.
Yeah,
What Sean
I would
is pretty
assume
much
so if
saying
they
is
want
that
to
all of this
fuck
is being
turtles.
fabricated by Melanie to ruin his reputation, when in reality, everything was consensual and nothing really weird happened with any minors, all right? Now, what Rena's saying is that this was all fake. He simply replaced Casper with Melanie. Regardless, this thread gave an opportunity to people who might have had a problem with Sean to voice their opinion and talk about their past experiences. For example, here's what this person had to say. Oh, this reminds me of the time he asked me a really erratic/inappropriate question when I met him in a convention. And even though he apologized profusely, it still embarrassed me. Like, why would you do that? I'm obvious.
Okay, this is also another thing I don't like about putting stuff on Twitter, is that now all of a sudden people from the woodworks from out of nowhere are going to talk about their irrelevant stories that have nothing to do with this because they want to be included. And here's the thing. I know I kind of sound like an asshole, and I know I'm not really like, I'm not really sounding very PC, but the thing is when it comes to shit like this, you have to cut the bullshit. You just do. You are, in this case, you are irrelevant. Your story holds no purpose. There is no reason, like, this has nothing even to do with grooming. This is just, oh, you had a weird encounter with some dude and he even apologized for it. Like, the story does not involve you. You are not relevant to the story. Like, cut the bullshit. This is about the victim and the accuser and the accusee, right? Like, and the accused. Like, this is, like, I just don't like, this is one of the reasons why I don't like when people put shit like this on Twitter, because then all of a sudden all these people who just think we're supposed to believe them will just come out of the woodworks and be like, so actually me and Sean, we met like 4 years ago and he gave me a high five without my consent. So I don't like that. And it's like, you have nothing to do with the situation. Like, I know I sound like an asshole, but it's like, bro, like, this is a very serious thing. Cut the bullshit and speak only on the facts.
Obviously, a teenager, I actually look like one. Like, you can see someone here tagging voice actors from Genshin and other properties, like these two right here, saying, y'all follow, by the way, pressuring them to stop following. But even though it seemed like many of the replies were turning on him, some people had things like this to say. I'm so serious when I say I'd love to see proof of this person having their age in bio or sending their age to him, because this can literally be just him thinking it was an adult like he has said. And like every other false claim about him that ended up being debunked.
All right, I don't know about that last sentence because this is the first time I'm hearing about this. I don't know about the last sentence, but I do agree with the first stop, and that is, I think I said earlier, like, people like to post on Twitter because in the court of public opinion, whoever cries first is the winner, right? So that's why a lot of people would rather go to Twitter than like actual authorities, because the burden of proof isn't on them. They don't have to show anything, right? And it's like, it's one of the biggest things I hate, because it's like, bro, we still have yet to see like verifiable like evidence that what Casper is saying is like true, right? And that's all. I'm not saying it didn't happen, right? But there's no verifiable proof. So it's like, I just don't like, I really don't like when people just come out of the woodworks and post on Twitter and shit like this.
Now, I don't know about that last sentence, but there were questions, right? Like, why is it that the most incriminating part of all this, the voice messages, were deleted? Why is it that we can't see Sonic Mega's name in the last screenshots? Why is it that we don't see the entire conversation for more context? Now, yes, the initial post was made back in 2013, 11 years ago. It would be hard to get that info now, but these questions were there anyway. But that doesn't mean that this post going so viral didn't make many people look at it and just think, oh, so Sean Chiplock is a pedophile, and that's that.
Yep,
Sean
that's very true.
Having to respond. A day later.
People saw the headline and just went with it. That's usually how it goes. A nice dramatic sounding headline, and you got yourself a winner.
Tweeted Rena's post once it gained a lot of traction, and here's what he had to say. I refuse to continue to entertain an oft-repeated, long outdated, always on behalf of another accusation stemming from a community where a literal groomer continues to manipulate and harass their victims. I'm not even upset, just frustrated at what you've been told to believe.
Who the fuck is he talking about? A literal groomer? There's another one? He's talking about somebody. There's another one? Why, bro, why are there so many? Bro, they're like, God, they're like rabbits. They keep multiplying. Why are there so fucking many? Now there's another one that we don't know about?
Now look, full disclosure, I have no idea who he's referring to. The groomer who continues to manipulate and harass their victims. Zero idea. Maybe someone in the comments can let me know, but yeah, so far, I don't even know what he's referring to. But anyway, he continues. Every year, I am made to have to address this time and time again with clients, communities, colleagues. Every year, I am forced to revisit this and the person who began it all, laying out every detail because my literal career is on the line. Every year, it is debunked. There have been so many opportunities for those who work with me to have researched, investigated, and come to their own conclusions about what is said of me. I am extremely grateful that those conclusions have all been the same. I'm
gonna make my own opinion on all of this afterwards. Right now, I'm just trying to like go like both ways, like, you know, defend Casper but also shit on him as well, or them, shit on them as well, and then like, you know, defend Sean and shit on Sean as well. Like, you know, I'm just trying to go both ways, keep it neutral, keep it unbiased.
Is not how
but I'll give my opinion on that at the end of it all.
Unfortunately, my choice to be involved with someone who proved to be incredibly toxic and vindictive resulted in repercussions I am now dealing with over a decade later, and I hope I can use that lesson to caution others about who or what they associate themselves with online. This thread won't matter. After enough time has passed, the topic will surface again, a new eager audience will be found, and I will once again have new angry faces to look at. All I can do in response is my best, and to show that in word and action, I am better than that. But as long as I'm going to be forced to go through all of this again, I at least want to thank everyone who has taken the time, the effort, and the patience to do due diligence and to continue to work with me after they've had the chance to make a firm decision for themselves. That all being said, I genuinely appreciate that people are so adamant about signal boosting reports and spreading the word about something that concerns them. Being willing to speak up is a huge deal and matters a ton in helping victims find the help/resolution.
All right, I'm going to say something that might be a hot take, but I do agree that it's a very good thing, and I do think it takes a lot of strength to come out with a story on Twitter, right? I do think it is something that needs to be applauded. I do think that, you know, coming out with a story, you know, story of abuse and things of that nature is very, you know, it is very strong and brave to do that. However, if you do want true full support, you have to come out with evidence. You just do, because, you know, if you just go on Twitter and say, make a tweet or a video of you crying saying this guy touched my forehead, I didn't like that, you know, you might have the support of a few people with anime profile pictures, but in the long run, you know, people with an IQ above room temperature, they're going to sniff through the bullshit and be like, hey, you're accusing somebody of a career ending thing, have some fucking proof, otherwise we can't believe you, right? What, like, the problem with coming out with no proof is that it might have actually happened. It might have actually happened, but because you have no proof, we have no reason to believe that it happened. So now you're on the back end thinking nobody cares about you, or nobody wants to validate your, you know, your struggles and your tribulations. But the reality is that we have no reason to believe it because you've given us the reason to believe it, right? So it's like it will always work in your favor if, like, to just come out with evidence, come out with proof. So that way you have full support and full backing. If you go half-assed and just have no proof, then you are shooting yourself in the foot. That's all I'm really saying.
They deserve. He ends this thread by saying, TLDR, I did not groom a minor and never have. Any claim otherwise is patently false. Sorry I didn't lead with this sooner. So of course here he's referencing Melanie yet again, blaming her for the reason why this has resurfaced and continues to resurface even 10 years later. And this was exactly what had happened with the Tumblr post, with the DeviantArt post, with the Reddit post, right? But of course it had never blown to this proportion. It had never reached millions of people. But even though it had already reached those millions of people, and it had of course had a very negative impact on Sean because now many of his fans might think he's a groomer, this would have ended the exact same way as the other situations. It would have died here until Casper, the person who wrote up the original DeviantArt post and who Rena was speaking on behalf of, came out with this post on July 2nd.
Oh, so
right
the
after
Casper, okay.
Sean's reply, right after he made this whole thread about saying, I refuse to continue to entertain this rumor.
Damn,
In it,
legit, like 3
Casper
seconds later,
says,
okay.
I am the Casper in these logs. I'm choosing to come forward to add credibility to these allegations and to say that I stand by the claims made in my original journal written in 2014. Casper.
You saying I'm the Casper in these logs doesn't add any credibility because we don't know who you are. For all we know, you could be Casper the fucking ghost. That adds zero credibility. You are another person on Twitter. That adds zero credibility. See, this is what I mean when you say you have to come up with evidence. Because now somebody's saying, "Oh, I'm the Casper in the logs." You have to kind of prove that though. You have to prove that you're the Casper from the logs. Because for all we know, you could be fucking P Diddy. Like that's all I'm saying. Like that doesn't really add any credibility at all. We don't know who you are.
Here is referring to the DeviantArt post. It was written in December 2013 though, but it could have been a mistake. Regardless, Casper ends the statement by saying this: Sean Chiplock is a creep. Casper then continues the thread. I was born December 10th, 1998. I just realized the exchange actually took place in August of 2013 when I was 14. I turned 15 3 days after writing my original journal about this event in December. I am amending my statement for the sake of accuracy. I was a 14-year-old child when Sean Chiplock sent me unsolicited sexual voice clips and asked me invasive questions about masturbation. I do not have access to accounts from 11 years ago to supply more evidence. I am under no...
You have just ripped yourself a new asshole. Okay. So remember how like a couple days, like a week ago, Dr. Disrespect made that tweet basically saying, yeah, I talked to minors and I sent nudes to a minor. This is the equivalent of the other side. You have just admitted that you have no evidence to prove that everything you're saying is true. You've just full on admitted I have no evidence. So that means we have zero reason to believe anything that you say from this point forward because you've just said you have no evidence. Like, bro, come out with proof, man.
No illusion that Sean will face any legal repercussions. I came forward to put a name to my story and further substantiate the claims that were made on my behalf. I am a childhood sexual assault survivor. I am not proud of everything I have done in response to trauma, especially as a minor actively being groomed. That is why we grow. I have no intention of becoming active in the furry fandom again, nor discussing this matter further in the future.
I mean, I don't know why anybody would want to be a furry, but you know.
Out of nowhere, right? No one was expecting this. Sean did something that arguably Dr. Disrespect had done when he was first accused of grooming. From an objective point of view, he wrote a terribly worded response that didn't really reach the audience the way he was hoping.
Okay,
Here's
what does Sean
he said
say?
in reply to this post by Casper. Casper, if you'll permit me to speak with you, I would be grateful
Why
to
do you
have
want
the conversation you should have been allowed a long time ago about what you experienced. More than
Okay.
anything, I want you to be able to properly
Express your
frustrations and to apologize for my own behavior.
Oh, Sean, you're so fucking stupid. Why would you tweet that? That is so dumb. Why would you? Okay, let's break this down. First and foremost, that first paragraph does not aid your reputation of being known as a creep. Because why do you want to have a conversation with them? You know, like people are gonna look at that and be weird. Like, why do you want to have a one-on-one conversation with him, even if it is public? Why? Like, bro, that is, why would you say that? And then secondly, why are you apologizing? Why would an apology is an admission of guilt? Why would you apologize for something you didn't do? Like, that's an apology is an admission of guilt. So you are basically admitting that you did something to Casper that made him uncomfortable. Otherwise, why would you apologize? That is so stupid.
Behavior. Yeah, that looks bad, right? That looks really bad. He does explain why he wrote this later, but for now, as someone who was just orbiting around wondering what's going to happen, not really having a solid opinion on whether he's guilty or not, you read this, it doesn't help. Casper replies to this, saying, I don't want to have a private conversation with you. Waking up to this whole ordeal has already been triggering and made me exceedingly uncomfortable. All I want from you is to stop deflecting the blame to PK, admit that the screenshots are real, and apologize. So PK here, of course, is Melanie, the person he has blamed for all this. To which Sean says, without access to the original log/conversation, I have no way of being able to verify that what's being shared isn't edited or modified. I'm not comfortable arguing the truth of something I can't even look at for myself from a community that proved to be full of manipulation. And then adds, this doesn't change the fact that if I made you uncomfortable in any way, I am genuinely sorry.
Bro, stop apologizing.
Without asking first, and I would never want to take advantage of anyone. I apologize for ever making you or anyone feel
Bro, stop fucking apologizing. This is not a situation where you should bro, an apology is admission of guilt. Stop fucking apologizing. You saying you're sorry means you did something to make him feel a certain type of way, which is not what you want to admit to in this type of scenario. Stop fucking apologizing. Sean, you're so stupid.
Otherwise. So, as I already mentioned, Sean's replies to Casper's thread didn't really have the intended effect he was hoping for. Here are a couple of reactions to this. As a fan of your work, Sean, this isn't a good look or response. This is admitting you did this. At this point, own up to it. Don't back down and don't make it private now that it's in the open. Someone else says, is this you confirming that the allegations are true, or I'm a bit confused on that. So people are pretty much saying, oh, so you're admitting it. Like, you're apologizing. You're saying, hey, sorry for making you uncomfortable. Like, what's going on here? Why didn't you deny it like you did earlier before this post? It was a crazy switch up going from I'm tired of entertaining this to, oh, my bad, I'm sorry. After this exchange, Casper quote tweets Sean's apology and says this: I've muted this thread and will not reply to further attempts to discredit me or bring up my past trauma. Sean has stopped denying correspondence with me and expressed a desire to apologize, which speaks for itself as far as I am concerned. Casper also replied to the initial thread of Sean saying, I refuse to entertain this rumor. If we scroll down here, you'll see Casper saying, oh, just shut up, Sean. You know what happened. I know what happened. We really don't have to play pretend. If I could go back and change one thing, I would have given myself the foresight to record the voice clips and include them in the original DeviantArt journal. Then Sean says, telling me to just shut up and accept serious accusations you can't even back up with verifiable evidence is incredibly suspicious, as is saying I denied you correspondence when I had no idea how to even reach you, and manipulating a concerned apology as an admission of guilt.
An apology is an
then
admission of guilt.
Tweets the
You just stop saying that, Sean.
Make him look very good, and says, a preliminary apology to being told you made me uncomfortable is not an admission of guilt.
Yes, it. Oh my
vehemently
God,
reject
yes, it is.
any
You
accusation
dumbass.
/ claim that I would groom, abuse, or otherwise take advantage of any individual under any circumstances. Empathy does not equal culpability.
Okay, but you don't want to be empathetic in this type of situation. You want to tell people, hey, I don't like minors. It's not about being empathetic. It's about being smart about your own preservation. I think it's more important to tell people I don't like minors. I don't like talking to minors than to tell people I'm a very empathetic person. Like, bro.
So after this, people started coming out with weird things that in their opinion Sean had said, or weird DMs they had received from him. He had stopped interacting with any of this and moved on, but Casper stayed active. Like, for example, someone posted this tweet made by Sean on his Sonic Mega account.
God, old
that
tweets
doesn't exist anymore. As you can see, it's been suspended. I don't really know the details behind this, but it doesn't exist anymore. In which he says, if an 18-plus-year-old mature text role plays with a minor, but both their characters are at least consensual age, is it still pedophilia?
Oh my God, bro. Yeah, bro.
Casper replies with another tweet they find weird, where someone says, what if one day you do change into your fursona? The only catch is the species will be your high school mascot. I'd be a husky. And Sean says, I'd be a pedophile. Also making
bro, Sean, like, you're not helping yourself. Like, those are some wild tweets. What the fuck, bro? Like, this is why I always say, like, if you're gonna be an influencer, don't make any jokes about like PDF files or anything, like, because they will be used against you if something happens in the future. I mean, like, bro, those could have been like just edgy jokes that he was just making, but like that really does not look good. Like, you really, like, this guy Sean really likes talking about minors for some reason.
Tweets like, if I was alone in this, it still wouldn't be acceptable, but it's notably disturbing that I'm not the only person who was on the receiving end of inappropriate sexual messages from Sean as a minor. Worst case scenario, it's predatory. Best case scenario, this behavior is reckless and creepy. Sean needs to be way more careful about how he speaks to people he does not know on the internet. There was also a person who posted this. I can't verify whether this is real, photoshopped, whatever, but it's pretty much...
Now that looks 100% Photoshop. You expect me to believe that on a I think that's Twitter, on a random Twitter DM that doesn't have a previous conversation going, someone's gonna send this to Sean. Rivali made me gay and it's all your fault. And Sean is gonna reply that to someone he doesn't know. That I don't believe that screenshot for 1 second. I really don't.
Them messaging Sean on his Sonic Mega account, which doesn't exist anymore, saying Rivali made me gay and it's all your fault, with Sean replying with, I'll kiss your dick to make it better. There's also now a TikTok with almost 700,000 views in which it pretty much just shows Diluc with the caption, guess which Genshin English voice actor got outed for liking kids. And there are so many.
Okay, yeah, you have to remember, this is TikTok. These are the same people that ate detergent at thinking that it was a good idea. Let's not forget about that shit. This is TikTok. Let's remember that the IQ of TikTok is a lot lower. Let's just not forget that.
Many comments here that believe this 100% and that already concluded that it is truth, it is reality, it's factual. There's even a news article that was written about this by The Gamer with the title Zelda actor Sean Chiplock responds to accusations of grooming a 14-year-old boy. This was never done before. Anytime this was brought up, this topic, it was just in these niche little communities like DeviantArt and Tumblr and never really made it out. But with this tweet being at almost 4 million views, as you can see, that is no longer the case. But overall, this is a complete mess that spans an entire decade and involves people from the furry community, the DeviantArt community, the Tumblr community, hell, even Kiwi Farm.
Yeah, so basically this drama involves all the degenerates of the internet. I just listed all the degenerates of the internet. That's basically what this involves.
There are two sides to this, and this is really up to you to decide whether Sean is actually a groomer or not, whether he's actually guilty of doing the things he's done, or he's being framed like he's saying he is. All I know is that there are no other voice actors that have talked about this. Hoyoverse did not indicate any reason to fire him, and hell, it's not just about Hoyoverse anymore. It's not just about Genshin. It's also about Nintendo, who has worked with him not on just one character, Rivali, but on multiple characters in just The Legend of Zelda, as well as some pretty big anime dubs like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Topics like this do upset me. You know, I don't like talking about how minors are being taken advantage of, right?
I don't think anybody does. Nobody wants to hear a story like this.
And left many people confused. So I hope that this video at least gave you enough information to make up your own opinion, and that whatever ends up happening
I have
is
my
the
own
best
opinion.
outcome. Please stay safe out there, especially if you're
I have my own opinion.
Thank you for watching. I love you so much. I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is, and mwah.
Yeah, I have my own opinion. And here's basically how I think of the whole situation right now. So basically, the thing is, there is no verdict. There is no concrete verdict of who's right and who's wrong, and if he actually, verifiably did it. So based on that assumption, number one, I am glad that based on that assumption, because there's not concrete and it's not like any verdict has been made. I do think that it's good that Hoyoverse did not drop him, because it's not confirmed. There's no verifiable evidence as far as I know from this video, right? Who knows? Maybe 3 seconds after I upload this, then there's going to be a whole legal document. Who knows? But from this video, from what I've seen from this video, there's still no verifiable evidence. So based on that, I do think it's unfair to have all of his career taken away from him based on accusations and assumptions, right? So I do think that's that should be where that lays. And then as for like, do I believe that it happened or not? I don't know. I can understand why people want to believe it, but at the same time, you also have to understand that situations like this, you have to take your feelings and emotions out of it. You have to take how you feel about the situation like this out of it and look at the evidence as objectively as you can. And right now, I am a believer of innocent until proven guilty, and he has not been proven guilty. So in my eyes, he's still innocent, right? It's too much confusion. It's all up in the air. It's not confirmed, so I cannot say that he did it if there's no verifiable evidence, right? I'm a hard believer of innocent until proven guilty. So with that being said, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but if it did, there has to be more proof. That's all I'm saying, right? Yeah, and then lastly, who the fuck was he talking about when he said there was an actual groomer in the voice acting? Like, bro, what is coming? Like, what is going on, bro? Why are they everywhere? Why there's an epidemic of these fucking baby lovers? Like, what's going on, bro? Like, holy shit! But no, that's just my take on it. That's just my take on it. But this is a great video by Mujin. Love the guy. Love the dude. He always makes banger videos. But yeah, that's how I feel about the situation. That was a very interesting topic. Honestly, I did not see this coming. I've never even heard of this, so it's odd to me that this was brought up like several times in the past, but it was just never brought up again. But no, that's yeah, very interesting topic. That was just my opinion on it, and yeah, that was a very great video. Very great video.